And welcome. This is Chartwise Women with Mary Ellen McGonagle and Erin Swenlin, brought to you each and every Thursday afternoon. This is the show where we are looking to what we call bridge the gap. Our goal here is to share our wealth of wisdom to help you bring you to the other side, to an area where you're comfortable with investing in the markets. And boy, what a week in the markets, huh, Erin? I mean,
I'll tell you what, we're
mhm.
recording on Tuesday, and I have to say, some very interesting market action, lots of climactic moves, as I like to call them, at decision point.
Sure. Yeah. Lots of volatility certainly would be another word we can use. It had a big spike into the close last week. We're seeing what could be sector rotation. Is it? We don't know. So I think today's theme is so relevant. We chose it last week after talking about consumer sentiment, and it couldn't have come at a better time. We are going to be reviewing downtrend reversals, and certainly any of you that have felt pain in the markets over the past week or two, you are not alone. It has been pretty difficult, but I always like to point out the fact that the reversals coming out of a pullback can really be rewarding. So that's what we're going to focus on. We're going to help share our knowledge as to what signals are going to really give you that confidence to get back in, add to given positions that may have sold off. So let's not waste another minute.
I'm
Uh,
ready.
oh, good, super. Well, I thought, if you don't mind, you have some wonderful charts on the broader markets. Again, this is being uh, filmed a couple of days before it's going to be shown, but there's still just going to be a lot of educational wisdom in knowing how to interpret what market price action is telling us. So,
All right, let me get that chart for you. Yes,
okay.
this is the one I open with all the time in my decision point alert, and I think it shows lots of interesting information here. But yes, here we go. So yes, volatility, I would have to say, pretty ugly. And really, when you hearken back to what was going on in September, this really feels a lot like that. So what we're trying to do is determine when we actually are going to hit that bottom so that we can start seeing those new all-time highs again. You know, today's action was definitely encouraging, and we're starting to see some good movement on the indicators. Our momentum indicator here turning back up. But notice the volume is starting to trail off a little bit, the total volume. And the VIX has now reached its EMA. I flipped my VIX, but what you can see is that those VIX readings have gotten lower, but we're now at that moving average. And when the market is weak, typically you're going to see that VIX stay below that moving average. And once it gets above it, well, then that's usually a sign that your decline is probably over. So we will know more going into tomorrow's trading. And but that is what I would be watching, is that VIX. I think that it's still vulnerable. It still shows that the market is still somewhat weak. I mean, the reading is still what, 20, 21, somewhere in
On
there.
the volume, yeah, it
Yeah.
was definitely below average today. I actually put out a Tuesday alert report where I cited that lack of volume as an indication of lack of conviction. So that's the one missing piece of the puzzle for me. The S&P has broken back above support. The RSI is positive. We're just not getting that volume that is confirming that investors are believing that this sharp downtrend that we experienced on the Omicron variant news, as well as inflation, interest rates, and so on. Uh, it, I think we need a little more information to tell us that that in fact has taken place as it relates to a reversal.
I absolutely agree. We need to have a lot more confirmation out there. We're not quite getting that. And again, you pointed it out as well, as losing that volume, that total volume, definitely gives you the sense that investors are a little less interested in buying. Even though the market went up, there's still a little bit
Well,
conservative in a way.
also, I did talk about the concept that it was a relief rally. There was a chart that Bloomberg put out, and it showed that the stocks that gained the most were ones that were the most heavily shorted. So could very well be a short covering rally as well, which is not a bad thing. It's just not positive market conviction that
Right.
historically you'll need to really drive the markets higher. So from here, let's go ahead. We're going to share some examples of downtrend reversals. I guess I can certainly go first, or yeah,
That's-
would that make sense?
that sounds just fine to me. Because definitely our anchor point today is the uncovering reversals. And I know this is really your specialty. So I think it's great for you to
I
kick it
do
off.
so much work around this concept. So what I'm doing is, and it's super helpful when you can get a downtrend reversal of a industry group or sector behind you, if you will, so that that will give you that ammunition, that confidence that that downtrend reversal is actually in place. So we're looking at a chart of the healthcare sector. And in fact, today we did get that nice gap up, but again, same concept. This is, we didn't get the volume, but we are awfully close. Healthcare had been leading, but fell off over the weekend. Less than 10% of the names of the 1,000 healthcare stocks out there were above their 50-day. So it's not quite ready for prime time. But what I did want to do from here is take us back to a period when healthcare did enter into an uptrend and in essence reverse not a downtrend but more of a sideways than a pullback period. So in June into the beginning of September. So in capturing that from there, of course, you will want to uncover specific stocks. So this is from my MEM Edge report. Actually, the comments faded over there, but I did add biotech TECH, a tech stock with the conviction of the reversal in that industry group. And then, of course, TECH did go on to great heights. I believe maybe in one of our future shows we can cover uptrend reversals
I
because
think
we
that that
did.
would be good too.
Yes, we did remove the stock as it started to reverse downward. So from here, I will take us to a couple of other areas, if I may. So, and as Erin cited, downtrend reversals tend to be where I'm, in addition, when I can marry a downtrend reversal with a base breakout, then I am really interested. So this is DocuSign. I'm taking us back to June 13th, my MEM Edge report at that time. The stock did reverse its downtrend. Now, let me tell you the characteristics that had me convinced, and those characteristics were not in place in late April. They did materialize into early June, and here they are. Number one, this break back above all of these moving averages, the 50 and the 200 days, giving me conviction, super high volume. We referenced that earlier. And then the MACD was in a positive position and had turned up here above that 50 level. If we go back to this potential downtrend reversal here in April, we were not getting that MACD. This is a momentum indicator, moving average, convergence, divergence, just not giving us that confirmation. It kind of waffled and then fizzled. However, clear cut uptrend here, marrying that with an uptrending RSI, and this was an entry point for, again, my MEM Edge report. However, it did not last. So again, we're going to get into that reversal as to the uptrend when they don't last. It's been a really tough market and year. We've had 11 broader market pullbacks, lots of sector rotation, but there have been strength areas in there as well. So taking us again to a sector chart, this is financials, a little more recent. In August, I did cite this sector as having reversed this downtrend. Same concept, gapping up, nice volume characteristics outside momentum indicators. A little waffly in here, but we were able to, from there, once you have that industry group, you can go down and then drill down and uncover stocks that are poised to benefit. This is a Comerica CMA. It reversed with the group. You had to put up with a little bit of back and fill here, but then it did go on to experience a very nice rally. one last area that I wanted to share with you, and that is energy, just about the same time that we saw. Now, let me just go over to here. And this is from my August 22nd report. I'm going to share with you the energy at that point in time in August into September. Energy sector had a very big gain, and I'm citing it here as in its bid to reverse the downtrend. The reason I was not convinced here at the end of August was because it had not yet broken above resistance, and that's going to be this 50-day simple moving average. It's not until September that we did get that break back above. That's giving me that conviction that in fact we have reversed that downtrend and then into a nice uptrend. I'll just share one chart and then pass the reins over, because you can see I added a couple, or actually had them on my watch list. This is Occidental, OXY, and again, citing it as just getting there, not quite yet. It's moving closer. I have a watch list that I keep very close watch on, of course, and it was not until this break back above resistance, big volume, outside momentum indicators positive, that I added this and those other energy stocks to my MEM Edge report. But it's just very typical of this market environment. It didn't last forever. So,
No.
so Erin, I'm gonna let
All
you share
right.
your tips and tricks for downtrend
Yes, so
reversals.
it's certainly been a struggle, right, with this volatility. And with my Decision Point Diamond subscribers, we've really been playing defense. And most stocks that I will put on my list are going to tend to be watch list material, not favoring them for potential. I mean, they are set up for potential, but a lot of times, if we don't have all of those earmarks, as you were talking about, especially right now, like with the market looking the way it is, we still, we're not convinced. But I wanted to show you a couple of charts that I had. Let's get over there. I thought I had them already, but of course they are hiding from me. So I'm going to share with you right now Brookfield Infrastructure Partners. So I really like the look of this chart. We are in a very volatile period of time, right? And now we're starting to see this reversal just ahead of the 200-day EMA, and now a breakout above those key moving averages. And things are starting to be solid, look pretty solid, right? We have an RSI that's now positive. We have the PMO, my momentum oscillator, turning back up. And then you can see stochastics also looking very positive on this breakout above those key moving averages. So that is getting me pretty excited. So let's just go back in time a little bit and see other times where we were looking at the same kind of situation with the breakout move above those moving averages and what was going on with momentum at that time and stochastics at that time. So you can see we had the pullback here, it was trailing off, and then we got the breakout above that 20 and 50-day moving averages. And then look at what was going on. We had RSI just getting positive, RSI just getting positive, PMO just turning up, PMO just turning up. Stochastics now in positive territory, stochastics now in positive territory. Here's another time where we had this breakout that came in, but notice this really ended up moving mostly sideways when we got that break above that 50. But what was different? The PMO was pointed down. Stochastic RSI was negative. Stochastics were also struggling to turn up there in oversold territory. It was clear that this wasn't quite right. But when we got the move out here, that breakout move that came across the overhead resistance here, once we got that, now we were looking at a crossover buy signal. Stochastics turning up in positive territory above that net neutral 50, RSI positive. So those are the kind of things that I'm going to look for when I see these reversals. I want everything to be kind of lined up. It really is going to set you in the right position. So let's look now at Quest Diagnostics. This is another one where we had this big reversal. We had a fake out breakout over here. And you can see that the PMO was doing what it was supposed to, and the RSI was doing what it was supposed to. And we did see a lot of volume, but notice when we had that selling, it came on very, very high volume. So it told us that we're holding support, but things are looking a little bit more iffy. And you can see we had a lot of the sideways consolidation, and then we had the next reversal to the upside. And there you have it. Stochastics looking good, PMO on a buy signal, RSI in positive territory. This was actually one of the stocks that I provided to my DP Diamonds readers. And you can see this was where I picked it right there on that breakout move. And we set our stop as we always do. It's obviously not hit. And since that time, it is up about 7.5%, which is not
in a very tough market. I would like to point out very briefly as well that if these downtrend reversals fail, in my experience, the good news is they do so very quickly. You're not going to go up for a week and then boom. So
exactly.
Yeah.
And this one really was set up nicely on this breakout above this trading range. You had that double bottom, which I always like to see those chart patterns.
Sure.
I think Google's another good example, and it looks like something interesting may be happening right now because we do have that turning up of my PMO here. Stochastics have turned up. They're not quite in positive territory. We do see the RSI is up here. But what were some of the things that were going on at these different points in time when we had hit and reversed off of this 50-day moving average? Okay, so we're looking at the Google chart, and here was that pullback to the 50-day EMA. And although we were seeing that bounce off of it, you could see that the momentum was still trailing lower. Stochastics were still trailing lower. And so it really wasn't a very convincing move off of that 50-day. And in fact, we ended up seeing things break down. But when it came back up, now you're seeing stochastics rising, you're seeing the PMO turning direction, and you can see the RSI was starting to get positive. So that looked like a pretty good reversal. Turned out we had to, deal with some churn and chop, but eventually we got that breakout and it was confirmed with really strong indicators.
Yeah, if you look at XLC, it'll make a lot of sense. Google's one of the top holdings in that sector, and
it's struggling.
Oh yeah, it's in a bear market.
It's been struggling. Here's Microsoft. I think this one looks very interesting right now because it is bouncing off of that 50-day EMA. We have decent volume on it. I mean, I would rather see something like this on a big move with upside potential, but things are starting to shape up. I just would be a little less, I'd be a little more cautious with this. I think that's a great reversal, but we are still coming off of some very negative momentum here. So that's kind of an example of one where I'm not so convinced as to what's getting ready to happen. And I think O'Reilly Automotive, this one has been on a really nice rising trend. And ultimately, there hasn't been much guesswork, if you will, on this one. But you look for those pullbacks. Its personality has been, since it broke above that 50-day back here, its personality, since it's been on this long-term rising trend, is to come down to that 50, test it, and then move back up. Come down to the 50, test it, and move back up. And we're in the midst of that. We had the pullback to the 50, and now it's heading back up, and in fact has broken out. We now have a crossover buy signal here. We have stochastics looking great. So this is just another example of this is uptrending, but it also can help you determine, well, maybe I want to add to my position when it comes down to this level, since it has been so good about holding that 50-day as support.
Very good. All right. I think we're going to take a quick break here, and we will be right back with lots more, including wisdom of the week. So stay tuned. And welcome back. We are at one of our more favorite segments. Of course, we like every part of the show, but wisdom of the week. And this is where we tell you items that we have uncovered over the years that have really helped us. And again, it's all with an eye toward helping you prepare for these markets and improve your investing capabilities. So Erin, I'm going to let you go first with your wisdom.
So my wisdom of the week kind of goes in line with the charts I was showing you and talking to you about. Reversals will generally have staying power if they're accompanied by momentum and volume. And I think your charts also really demonstrated that quite well. So as I tell my subscribers, I personally don't get into stocks unless there's positive momentum. I just don't. Momentum is pointed downward. And even though it looks like it's reversing off of a support level, I'm not interested until I know that that momentum is rising and that there is some interest backed up with the volume.
Very good. And my wisdom of the week is in line with that, but it's more tuned into the broader markets as well. And the fact that downtrend reversals, when you can capture them just as they're moving into an uptrend, can be very powerful. They can oftentimes signal much further upside. And I think we shared with you the fact that they will, if they're not going to take or stick, quickly you'll uncover that. But when they do get going, you can really uncover some significant gains from those downtrend reversals. So from here, let's take a look and talk about some action plans. Erin, if you would like to go first, and just an idea, something that
Sure.
the viewers can use to help them.
Right. We don't want to just, tell you. We want to also give you ideas on how to, again, bridge that gap. And so I was talking a lot about momentum and how I don't like to get in stocks unless they have positive momentum. Well, I did a video, and it is a little bit old, but I think the concepts are timeless. And it's an introduction to momentum indicators, not just my price momentum oscillator, but the MACD, which you were referencing. There are others. And so I think it would be really helpful. It's only like 25 minutes, but it'll give you a really good background, even if you're, on expert level, if you will. I think you'll find some really interesting information in that video. And I know that we do have the link available in the commentary on the video itself.
Oh, very, very good. And then after you watch Erin's video, you can go ahead over. I'm going to share my screen very quickly here. And this is one of many ways that you can actually perform this type of screen. So what I've done quite simply, this is a company called FinViz. You can do this on StockCharts.com. All I did on this given day is ask to show me all stocks today that crossed above their 50-day simple moving average. And then from there, you can go ahead and ask for higher volume characteristics as well. Today, I simply asked for that 50-day moving up above it. I'm sorting it by market cap. And up here in the forefront, we can see these stocks that are in the throes of potentially reversing their downtrends. This is Shopify. If that were the case, it has broken up that 50-day. We are getting pretty good volume, certainly over yesterday, and it would be more of a V-shaped recovery. But I find this screen to be really quite powerful as far as uncovering potential. I'm hovering over it so that I can show you just thumbnail charts. But this, for instance, Amgen potentially reversing its downtrend. It is still going to have potential upside resistance here, but it's the type of screen that is very, very simple. You can sort it in any way that you wish. And then from there, again, I apologize, I should have put that volume characteristic in there. But then also you can note industry group movement by this as well, because it does tell you what sectors are beginning to turn, and it's all about tech that are reversing their downtrends at this point, and in particular software. Yes, and though from there we can go ahead and Erin, why don't we take a minute and talk about some of the work we do outside of Chartwise Women, share with the viewers our work and some of the
Certainly.
ways
I
they
know
can follow
that
us.
my director of marketing would be very upset with me if I didn't talk about my website on the show. Of course, that's me. We're in a company of two whole people. So anyway, decisionpoint.com. If you're looking for stocks, I do screen for you. I give 10 stock picks per week. So you're always seeing new stuff. You're always seeing the rotation. You're always getting a sense of what stocks look good right now and why. So that is my Decision Point Diamonds report that you can get on the decisionpoint.com. And then of course, the DP alert, which I talked about at the beginning of the program, where I showed that 5-month candlestick of the market. We cover that every day in our DP alert. And currently we're running a special through December 31st. So if you're seeing this and have a chance, if you get your subscription now, you'll get 1 extra month for free. So buy one, get one. I always love a good BOGO deal.
Oh, absolutely. Are you kidding? And what better stocking stuffer? I actually have had people purchase my courses, my newsletter for college graduates and for other occasions. So I think you're onto something. I'm just going to very quickly share my screen and show my website where you can capture my work, learn more about what I do, MEM Investment Research.com. And then I also have a special offer for my newsletter. It comes out twice a week, but I do alert reports as well as warranted. We're in a pretty tricky market here, but you can read all about the advantages of my report. Terrific track record, and it's all about being educational, very similar to this show, in addition to alerting you to stocks that are poised to reverse their downtrends, break out of bases, and all kinds of upside momentum. And you can all access all of that here on MEM Investment Research. So I urge you to hop on over there and take advantage. Again, a nice stocking stuffer. Wouldn't you like to receive that? So everyone, keep your eyes open. The markets have been a little bit tricky here. And as always, we're here to help you. We look forward to seeing you next Thursday.
Hey guys, Dave Keller here with StockCharts.com. Thanks so much for watching our video. If you enjoyed it, and we hope you did, hit the like button right below. Also, we have so much new content every day. Consider subscribing to the channel. Just hit the subscribe button in the video or right below. Thanks for watching. Stay safe. Have a fantastic day.